Okay, we're back, and this is just a quick thing on how to add blocks and how to actually save your picture, just to show you. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. So first we'll do placing blocks. So I'm not gonna put like a bunch of blocks here. I'm just gonna show you how. So you could build an entire world without using Mineways. It would just take a while. Or if you were just inside a house, you could build it. But instead of, I'll just show you. So if I go in here, we have, let's just do, where is it? It's like Thumbits Minecraft Model Pack. That one has 3D grass, I'm pretty sure. So if I drag this in, you can see that we have a bunch of stuff here. In nature and then plants, I can find tall grass. There it is. And I can double click on this. And I'll just click crossed. So here's what I mean. If I were to take this block and I were to move it like this, I'll just go over here so I don't have to, so if I were to move this, you can see that if you were placing a bunch of blocks, it would take forever to get them lined up perfectly. This isn't the best example, but if you think of this as a full like oak block, it would take forever to line this up like just perfectly like that without having any lines. So I'm going to show you how to make it so it like snaps in there and you don't have to do a lot of moving at all. So what you do is you can go to mode and then you go to modeling and you go to quantize, I think, enable quantizing, and then movement, set that to 100. So in Cinema 4D, most models, every pixel is 6.25 big. Like every Minecraft pixel in Cinema 4D is 6.25 big. And a block, like a Minecraft block, is 16 pixels. So if we were to do 16 times 6.25, that would give us 100. So this is going to move the block 100 pixels at a time. So it's pretty much just moving it one block at a time. So we're snapped on a grid now. So you can see that when I drag this, it doesn't move smoothly, it snaps, which is good. And you can see that if we put this here and we move this, it's not lined up still. What you do is you go to mode and modeling again, and you just set this to 50. And you'd move this once this way and once this way and set it back to 100. And there you go, now it's like on the grid, and you can just copy and paste, and it'll move it the same amount each time. If you get tired of going down there and doing mode, modeling, and doing that, what you could do is you go to Window, Customize Commands, and then you could go Quantize, and you could put Enable Quantizing up here. Just drag that on there, and you could do Quantize Move Slider and put it up there, and there you go. So now instead of having to go to the mode modeling thing each time, you can just click on this and it'll turn it on, or uncheck it and it'll turn it off. And if you want to change how many like pixels it goes or how many blocks, you can just type it in here, and you can see that it changes down here too. So that's a lot faster way. Also, there are rotation. There's rotation and scaling, so that's pretty useful too. If a furnace or something is facing the wrong way, you can just rotate it however much, like 90 or something like that, and it'll do that. So that is how to place blocks, and now we can actually save the render. So I'm just gonna jump inside the camera like that. I got a little crazy there. And what you do is you can again save this as whatever you want. I'll just call it like I don't know, like render. I'll just leave it like that actually. So you can set the location, set the name, and then you click this middle button, and this is going to render it out, and it's going to save it when it's done. And if it's an animation, it'll save it as a AVI or wherever you saved it as. So even though this looks like it's rendering a video, it's actually not. This is just a PNG, a still image. I don't know why that's there, but it does take a little bit longer in the render thing here than it actually does in the editor. So this is called Picture Viewer, and this is just the editor. So yeah, it takes longer in the picture viewer than the actual editor, so that's one thing to know. Like, it was already done by now, probably in the editor, and in here, it's gonna take a little bit longer. Another thing to know is when the depth of field comes, it removes the color correction, and if you think that looks really bad, you can actually go to layer, or not layer, you can go to filter, and you can click enable filter, and this is pretty much just color correction, and you can do the same settings that you had, and you can see that it gets like really, there's a lot of contrast and stuff, and it's really bright. When the depth of field comes, it'll remove that, and it'll look normal again. And what you can do, it's not going to save it, so what you have to do is you have to right click this, and you have to do save as, so I'll show you that when this is done. But yeah, you just save it again, and then replace it, and it'll update that. So yeah, we'll just let this render out, and then we'll look at it on the desktop. So yeah, 1 minute and 47 seconds. Now, this probably would have been a little bit quicker if I wasn't rendering it in 4K. So that's just one thing to know. Looks like it's almost done. It just has to put depth of field and the lens flare on, and it has to finish rendering this little piece here. But you can actually zoom in using the mouse wheel and look at parts like that. It's pretty cool. Almost done. Yeah. Yeah, 2 minutes and 20 seconds. That's a lot. You definitely wouldn't want it to take that long on an animation. So there we go. Now you can see a depth of field comes in, and it looks normal now. So there it is. And if you actually look at it, I have it in the folder here. There it is. So render. You can see that's what it looks like. And it does look gray. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back here. And we're going to right click this and save as. And you can just leave all this, and you can click use filter down here. And then click OK. And find the same spot that you saved it in. Tutorial somewhere. Tutorial world. You could save it as a different name or the same name. I'm going to save it as the same name, and this will come up, and just click yes. It's going to replace it, so now the color correction is on here, and it has a blur. So there's the final thing all rendered out. You know, we got the lens flare, the sky, the world, the lighting, and the depth of field, and the player. So yeah, that's pretty much all the tutorials. This is the result of it. Obviously, I was just doing this quickly. You could edit this stuff and make it better. But yeah, this is just an example. So next tutorial can probably get into keyframing. So that's it for this tutorial, and thanks for watching.